I mean, I hope to be here. I definitely didn't expect to be here. It was something, on my list of goals, and I'm super glad to have accomplished it.
When you saw Chase Young just get here a couple years ago, and there's been some other defensive players, but did that give you any, make it more of a tangible goal for you at that point, the defensive players could do?
No, I guess I really hadn't thought of Chase Young too much. I mean, maybe at the time, you see, I mean, the defensive end is a very game-changing position, so I think I knew if I produced like I did, I would have a chance to come to New York.
Who did you like to watch growing up then? Is there a couple players or?
What did you say?
Who did you like to watch growing up?
Okay.
Are there a couple players or one player? At any level.
Yeah, I really didn't watch too many DNs growing up. I really just watched Tom Brady when I was a kid. Growing up, I mean, that guy was my favorite, and I really wasn't too tuned in with the DNs. I wanted to be a quarterback, just like Tom Brady.
Have you had a chance to watch Georgia yet? Have you had a chance to watch?
I have a little bit. I watched their game against Bama, and I'm fired up, ready to go. I think they got a really elite unit all across the board. So hopefully we can take advantage of some of the mismatches and get pressure on that quarterback.
Being a defensive player here in New York, have you heard from maybe Charles Woodson or any other Michigan greats that have been here?
I haven't heard directly from him, but I know Charles, before the Ohio State game, kind of called his shot. My dad was telling me, he said if Aidan gets 3 sacks, he's going to New York. And what did I do? I got 3 sacks, and now I'm in New York. So I thought, it was pretty cool that he called his shot, and it was pretty badass.
Aidan, you just faced one of your fellow finalists in CJ Stroud a couple weeks ago. What was the thing that you guys were most concerned with about him going into that game, and what made him a tough matchup in the game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with CJ, I mean, he's a hell of a ball player, and but you turn on the film and not many people were getting pressure on him. He was sitting real pretty in that pocket and just throwing dimes, and we knew, if we couldn't get any pressure, I mean, they were gonna the offense was gonna explode on us. So, that's something we did, and that's something our whole defensive line did. Was really, I think, made him a little bit uncomfortable and pressured him. And I think CJ still had a good game, but just forced some uncomfortable throws was really our plan.
Aidan, your game has matured from last year, this year. You're playing with a lot of leverage. It seems like you're always in the gap where you're supposed to be. What's the difference in transition from last year to this year?
I think the biggest is just our defensive coordinator. We got Coach McDonald from the Ravens, and he brought a scheme in that I think fit me perfectly, and it has allowed me to flourish as a player, and it has allowed me to produce with the numbers that I have, and it really gives me a lot of freedom in the defense as well, just to play my game and unleash the beast.
Aidan, CJ was just in here. He said you guys have talked since you guys arrived here, but not about the game, not about football. What kind of things have you guys talked about? How have you kind of got to know each other?
Yeah, me and CJ have talked a little bit. I got a lot of respect for him as a football player and as a person. So, there's no animosity towards him. So it's been good with me, CJ, and Bryce.
And when you the rivalry is what it is. You obviously know that as much as anybody, but there's also a human element to it. How do you kind of keep that intensity while also, when you meet the guy, you can have these types of situations?
Yeah, I think it's easy because, when you're off the field, football mode is turned off, that savage mode, whatever you want to call it, it's off. And, we're all just 20, 21-year-old dudes who all love football, and we're all playing, and sometimes against each other. So that's really what it comes down to. So, we're all just college kids, living it up.
Aidan, if you could bring one Michigan teammate to share the Heisman Weekend experience with you, who would it be?
I think it would be my former D tackle who's since left. His name is Carlo Kemp. He was one of my best friends here. He was 2 years older than me, but we really just bonded, and I miss Carlo every day. He could have sixth yeared and came back, but you know, I can't ask that for him. You know, that's a lot of years. So you know, I miss him. I want to see him. I'd love to share this with him. He'd love all this.
Aidan, what is some of the special moments you've had with Coach Harbaugh?
I mean, this year has been filled with special moments. You know, all the way from back to the Nebraska game, the Wisconsin game. I mean, it's always fun when you're winning. You know, in any program. You know, it's always easy to be lighthearted. You know, something that, you know, it's been a little bit tense at Michigan in the previous years, just because, you know, especially last year being 2-4, facing a lot of those pressures and expectations to get back, you know, to where, you know, we used to be. And you know, now that we're back, I mean, you know, it's pretty, you know, everyone's relaxed a little bit. You know, we took down the monster in Ohio State, won the Big Ten championship, and now we're looking forward to bigger and better things.
What was your impression? Just talking with Bryce. Have you watched his games on TV, or what do you think?
No, I've not watched Bryce play at all. I haven't gotten the chance to. I think just the timing of our games, but yeah, I mean, just looking at his stats, I mean, hell of a player. Hopefully, I'll get to play against him on January 11th, I think.
Is there a big rivalry amongst the players between the Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference?
No, not really. You know, the media likes to, you know, portray the stigma of, you know, Big Ten versus SEC, who's better, and yeah, you'll joke around with it a little bit, but I mean, you know, we're all just trying to compete and have fun, and you know, you can slot us in the Big Ten, SEC, and you know, put us against each other, but you know, it's I don't think it's that big of a deal.
As a defensive player, how do you feel about the way this award has been dominated by offensive players over the years? Do you think it should be closer to even?
Yeah, it's tough just because I think quarterbacks and running backs, guys like that, are put in more game-changing scenarios where you know you put the ball in their hands and they can make a play. Whereas defensively, you know, you really got to do a lot. Plays got to come your way. There's a lot of factors that kind of go into it in order to change the game, and so I just think, you know, the roots of football and how the game was made, even with the trophy, it's difficult for defensive guys to be finalists because it's got to be, you know, you got to be big you got to play great in the big games, and you know, you got to perform when it matters the most, and I think I've done that. And I think that's why I earned my ticket here.
Do you feel like every defensive player in the country is going to be rooting for you to win?
I would hope so. I'm putting on for the defense right now.
And how do you view the college football playoff, having not played in it before, as opposed to the Ohio State game or one of the other bigger games you played this season? Does it take on a different level as you guys prepare for it?
You know, that's a good question. I don't think so. Yes, the magnitude of the game gets bigger. There's a little bit more on the line, being, you know, we're playing for a national championship, but to me, it just feels like we're playing another team. You know, you get so deep in the season, things feel so, you know, rinse, wash, repeat, you know, whatever you want to say. Like, it's just another team in our path, and I know this team, you know, we're going to prepare our asses off and really just give this thing everything we got. And, you know, if we come up short, it is what it is, but, you know, we're all trying to win this game.
Aidan, do you have any routines that when you're preparing for the game, the daily routines, you know, something on game day that you like to do?
I always wake up and take a cold shower. That's one of my traditions, just because it wakes me up. I think it activates a lot of the nerves in my body, and that's really the one thing that I do consistently. You know, that's a little bit out of the ordinary.
Do you know anybody at the University of Georgia on their roster at all? Do you know anybody?
Yeah, I do. I know one. Well, their tackle, Jamari Salyer. Yeah, I remember him from the All-American game. We got in a little scuffle during one-on-ones, so that'll be interesting. I get a little rematch against him 4 years later, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I really don't know a whole lot of guys on that team.
Do you think there's going to be any issues for you personally or the team going south to play in Florida with the weather slight change from Michigan this time of year?
No, I'm happy. I'm excited. Getting some warm weather or semi-warm weather. Well, warm weather for me at least. And you know, not to play when it's snowing or my fingers are freezing, and you know, I feel like my toes are about to fall off. So I'm happy to play in Florida.
Have they given you a schedule yet? Are you going down before Christmas, the team, or do you know yet?
It's a good question. I don't know yet.
Do you feel like you guys are carrying the flag for the Big Ten? I know you said not Big Ten SEC, but just in general, obviously Big Ten's only won once since the playoffs started. Do you feel like you're carrying the water, carrying the flag, however you want to put it?
Yeah, I feel like college football is just better when Michigan's winning and when Michigan's up there in the top, and you know, now we're competing for playoffs. You know, kind of you know, Coach Harbaugh is the coach of the year. We're Big Ten champions. I think it's good for college football, and it's good to see a different color in the playoffs.
Anything in New York you want to say while you're here?
I saw the ball for New Year's Eve. I thought it was bigger on TV. They're zoomed in on TV, so the ball actually looks huge. But no, actually, I don't know. I've been here once before, so I've been in the Empire State Building and stuff like that. So I'm just here for the ride.
Hayden, have you ever watched Kenny play before? Kenny Pickett, the quarterback?
Not really. No, I saw his fake slide. That was crazy. All the defenders started slowing down. It was a little weird, but hey, that was a cool thing. He invented it, and now it's banned. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I mean, if he's here, I know he's a really good quarterback and really elite. So, I'm excited to meet him.
Before the Ohio State game and then before the playoffs, how much were you guys thinking or talking about the 10-year drought you guys have had against Ohio State and now what the championship drought Michigan's having? Do you guys talk about it at all, like winning it for the guys who were there before?
Yeah, you know, you hear about the drought, but I mean, I was only a part of, this was my third game against Ohio State, so I really can't, none of us could control what happened in 2012, 2013, 2014. So, you know, I don't think the drought was really relevant for a whole lot of us. All I know is I was 0-2 against them, and I wanted to get a win on that board. So now I'm 1-2, and you know, I can say I beat Ohio State now.
Aidan, the defense at Michigan's been pretty strong, I think, under Coach Harbaugh. But this year, it seemed like the offense caught up to you by the end of the season. They really improved. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think really what's so great about this team is how we play complementary football. I think that's so relevant this year. Is you know, let's say the defense is lacking a little bit, the offense will pick it up, and vice versa. So I think that's what makes us so elite. Is you know, if one group isn't performing as well, I mean, the other's going to step up. So that's just how it is.
Last question.
Aidan, you made history, or Michigan made history by becoming the first unranked team in preseason to make the college football playoff. You mentioned last year being a damn near 2-4, Jim Harbaugh's future being uncertain. When did you know this team is not just a good team this year, an elite team?
So I had a feeling we were going to be good, and you know, as you beat some of those teams early on, you know, 3-0, 4-0, but you really don't know how good you are because you haven't, you know, played any ranked opponents or anything like that. So I think when we beat Nebraska on the road in a very tough environment with probably one of the loudest crowds I've ever heard, and just the way we fought back at the end, I knew that, you know, this team was different in terms of how we deal with adversity and you know, how we scratch and we claw our way back no matter what the circumstances.
All right, Aidan, thank you so much.